I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. The Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
More cops should be around your neighborhood. Why do blacks have a broken family?
White person were to come up and say, you know, black America really needs to get its act together and stop sleeping around all the time, and it needs to actually
why would you
because it's true.
When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Black America is worse than it has been in the last 80 years. What percentage of young blacks have both a mom and a dad raising them?
Of course we pander to blacks. They're in every TV commercial.
And they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action?
Things got worse since the Civil Rights Act. More violent, less fathers around, poorer.
Why are we making racist jokes?
Well, look, it's a comedian that was put up on stage. Yeah, what do you expect? But I mean, man, can you take a joke?
You should be kissing the ground with gratitude, because you're right. You are not in Africa, and you should be thankful you're not in Africa. Certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. It's now become a racial complaining day. BLM, and remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder. America is poorer today than before we tried to start to help them.
Black women married the government and divorced the men that they were once with.
Happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday.
Half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crime. They commit more murders. They commit more arsons. They commit more kidnappings. It's not a profiling when it comes to that. Blacks are far more likely to commit crimes than any other group. See a black pilot, you wonder, boy, is that person there because they earned it or because they were placed there? When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous.
Death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI. Black culture has collapsed the last 60 years. Systemic racism stuff is a bunch of rubbish. Instead, it's systemic bad choices.
Do you feel that systemic racism isn't real?
Of course not.
How do you feel about the black community receiving reparations?
I'm against that. Yeah.
With the George Floyd protests,
Riots.
We have a supply and demand issue with racism in our country. We have an incredibly low supply of racism and an incredible demand to try to fulfill it. So we've created racism where it doesn't exist.
When I was being schooled, we have spent an entire month on slavery. Totally get it. Terrible thing. But we spent so little time on the brilliance of the founders and what they've created. And
is it about contemplating the good, the true, and the beautiful, or is it about being a gangbanger and trying to get as much money and sleep with as many girls? Time for us to stop listening to rap music and this degenerate hip-hop stuff.
Can you clarify your definition of critical race theory?
Call everything racist till you control it.
And we decided to basically usher in the Civil Rights Act as a new anti-racist dogma, creed, and I find something fundamentally wrong with that.
What would you say is the biggest non-issue that people make out to be a massive issue?
Okay, great. So I would say, it's not a surprise what I would say, racism.
First things first, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. For real. Now, I want to make it clear. White supremacists immediately use this as an excuse to try to threaten black people, even though it was one of their own who felt like he wasn't even radical enough. Think about how crazy that is. The same guy who said slavery was better for black people because we weren't criminals. And you can see all the clips before. That's the legacy he leaves. He wasn't killed defending some innocent person. He wasn't killed doing something heroic. He was killed talking on a college campus about his racist views. And one of his own, who felt like he wasn't radical enough and he talked too much, popped him. And I don't feel any remorse for someone who feels like our people aren't human. Fuck them. Now, for you racist rednecks who decided to immediately go to civil war and threaten black colleges, I don't know if y'all think things are soft these days, but let's be very clear. If you touch our people, our education, our kids, we will put a hole in you and you'll end up just like your friend in there. So I want y'all to understand, we ain't causing no smoke. We ain't chasing nothing. but we'll defend ourselves to the last breath. So, you better mind the business that pays you and keep hiding behind the mask. But for every one of y'all that came out and was pushing that narrative and making those threats online, we need to expose them and get them fired. Because the only way these people feel it is when they ain't got no motherfucking check. And that's facts. Now, the reason they wear those masks is so they can keep that. And so they can hold position of power that ultimately influence people like us. So for all of y'all out there, do your research. Make sure we find out exactly who they are and expose them. Because they don't learn until they're exposed. And I don't even care if they learn. I just want them to pay. You think saying stuff like that is acceptable and okay. Well, guess what? We're going to show you it's not. Now, make sure you're paying attention to what's happening outside of that. There were kids killed in Colorado that day. There was an active school shooter that same day. And I want to say prayers for them and their families and their kids and all the people who were injured and killed and hurt. My condolences to y'all because they didn't do anything to deserve this. And there has to be something done. But watch the laws that was passed that same day. Watch what Trump was doing. Watch what Congress was doing. The lady asked Trump a question about it and gave her sympathies for him losing his friend. And this man said, yeah, that's sad. But anyway, so look at all these trucks. You see the trucks? My new haul is going to be banger. He don't give a fuck about y'all. That's what y'all not realizing. That man don't give a fuck about y'all. It's all about him and what he wants to do. Now, again, how many times do we have to say it? How many times do you have to hear it? How many things do you need before you realize these people don't give a fuck about you? They denied releasing the files that same day, 2 hours later. But I guess you wouldn't know that because we were so distracted with this. It's all perspective and it's all a bait and switch. So whenever they want you to go one direction, make sure you look the other one too. Both ways before you cross the street. Now, for all you black people out there, stay together, move in groups, always record wherever you at, always let somebody know where you at. And don't take these people threats lightly. You're gonna have to defend yourself at some point. And make sure you do it the right way. So can't nobody spin and switch the narrative. The times that we are in America are very troubling for brown people. But we've been here before. And we know exactly how to navigate it. Look to the past, and it'll tell you exactly where you're headed. Keep your ears and your eyes on the swivel. I'll be dropping something specifically for my people soon. And again, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. You a racist piece of shit. And I hope you're comfortable in hell with a gasoline snuggly. To Candace Owens, you tap dancer. You were his only friend, for real, for real. And guess what he said? Black women aren't smart. Everybody can't come with us, y'all. And we gonna have to leave a lot of these tap dancers at home. You know, Harriet Tubman, she would knock them niggas out. Or pop them. If it meant our freedom. You gotta understand, when coyotes get trapped in a cage and they can't get out, they'll chew off their own arm if it means freedom. When you get cancer, what do? You cut out that part, that flesh. You understand? Everybody ain't meant to come with us. Now, prepare yourselves, prepare your friends, prepare your family. Always stay in groups once more. And be safe out here. It's wicked times. But we strong. We'll get through it. Peace.